Much like MicroStrategy using 0% interest to buy Bitcoin, I will talk about using 0% interest credit cards to buy Bitcoin. That's right, this is the type of investing that was inspired by Michael Saylor and how he was able to turn his company from dying to thriving. First off, why would someone like you or me use credit cards to buy Bitcoin? Can't you just use your own money to invest without worrying about paying off the issuer? Well, it has a lot to do with time. See, money is just a measurement of time and energy. In order to earn money, you gotta work by sacrificing your time and energy. Like what Jack Mallers said, if you put your time and energy into a fiat currency, you are trusting your government not to steal your money. Unfortunately, governments are always issuing debt by printing money out of thin air. That means they are debasing your time and energy.
You're about to get a lot poorer.
If governments can borrow their own money, then that's as close as time traveling they can get, because they're borrowing money from the collective populace from their future, leaving you, the hard-working fiat slave, poor. They devalue your life by inflating the currency you based your time and energy in. As fiat currencies become worthless, you become worthless because you're saving your money in fiat currency. So fight back. One way to do this is by using the enemy's own weapon against them.
Yes!
By borrowing money from the bank and storing those time and energy into an asset that cannot be debased by governments, but will appreciate in value due to high demand and scarcity, then you are essentially time traveling.
Greetings, time travelers.
But what is this asset that governments have no control over? It's Bitcoin.
Small face that can never lie.
When times are dire and you're in need of funds to invest in the best asset that's ever created, you need to get in on it big time before it skyrockets into the moon. But you may not have the capital right now to invest big on Bitcoin. That is where the 0% interest rate credit cards come in.
I think Ukraine spending was in full blown. They were just going every single weekend, 100 billion here, 100 billion there. This headline was every single weekend. And then I was thinking, like, why even bother working hard and like trying to get side hustles? Why bother all that? And I thought, okay, let me just find all of the cheapest debt that I could on the market. I searched up all of the 0% deals, intro APR deals I could find, and so waited for the cards to arrive, and then I maxed them all out.
We have a high roller.
By using multiple credit cards that offers 0% interest for 21 months, you will be able to use money that you currently don't have and invest it in Bitcoin. The best part is, you'll pay 0 interest on these credit cards for under 2 years. That's 21 months. However, the amount of money you can borrow will be relatively low depending on your credit limit. In my case, I was able to borrow £3,500, which is $4,500. When you apply for this type of credit card, your available credit limit will depend on your credit score, your income, and how much debt you already have. I already have debt because I recently got a mortgage for a house.
Big mistake.
To get the highest credit limit right away, you will need to improve on those 3 things: your credit score, income, and no existing debt. So how can you apply for 0% APR credit cards? You can do this by downloading the app called Credit Karma. Credit Karma is a broker that will help you find the best interest rates for credit cards and loans. By the way, getting a loan from the bank is also an alternative way to use debt to buy Bitcoin, but I'll solely focus on credit cards today.
I think I'll use my credit card.
When you download Credit Karma or any broker similar to that on your phone, they will check for all sorts of credit cards that's available to you. These credit cards have perks. They're like superpowers. You know, in RPG games like Skyrim or Baldur's Gate, you get to create your own character with their own special abilities.
I'm going to fucking kill you.
One is a wizard with fire spells, the other is a warrior who is super strong, and then there's an archer with 100% projectile accuracy.
Hit me again and I will throw shit at you.
Well, in real life, people who use credit cards have superpowers in society. There is one type of credit card in particular that will allow users to time travel. This is my superpower. I have the ability to take money from the future and use it in our current time. Doing so saves me a lot of time and energy because I now have the money that I would have made in the future.
See, most people utilize credit cards to go on vacations, to go on trips, go to happy hour, and basically just live their everyday life. But when you understand how debt can actually make you money without using any of your own money out of your pocket or your bank account, you start to understand the power of leveraging credit or leveraging debt.
Let's face it, if you can borrow 5 credit cards with 0% APR fixed for 21 months, and all these credit cards give you a limit of £3,500, that's £17,500 of capital given to you right away. If you were to work your job, it would probably take you an entire year to get £17,000 after taxes.
I need my money. I need my money right now.
So one credit card may not be enough capital to invest in Bitcoin, but if you use 5 credit cards with 0% rates, you'll be able to maximize your investment for this bull run. And since it's debt, you won't even have to pay taxes on them, because these are money that don't belong to you. It belongs to someone else. You're using other people's money to invest in Bitcoin when you use credit cards. Now with that, I'd like to raise an important note, a very important note. If you're jobless, or you don't have enough money to be able to pay off the monthly repayments for these debts, then it's best you stay away from doing this, because you're going to put yourself in a horrible situation. Repayments are basically a monthly subscription. Just like you subscribe to Netflix, you pay them a monthly fee to watch movies. Borrowing £3,500 from a credit card with 0% interest rates for 21 months has a monthly repayment. For me, I'm paying £121 per month on my repayments for this credit card, which is a good deal. After 21 months, the 0% interest rate will revert back to 24% of interest. In other words, I just gotta make sure I pay it all in full before 21 months is over to avoid the high interest rates. Credit cards can be a double-edged sword. It could either work for you or against you.
The money is working for us.
If you don't have enough money to pay the monthly repayments for this debt, then they may give you late payment fees, or you may even lose the promotional 0% rate. After you lose your 0% rate, you'll get the standard 24% interest rate, which is very bad. You do not want to pay 24% per month on a debt.
Okay.
So it's important you first get your money sorted, make sure you actually have a stable income so that you'll be able to pay off this monthly repayment for these credit cards. Alright, let's take this into perspective. Since I'm already paying £121 on my repayments for a credit card that gave me a limit of £3,500, that means if I use 5 cards, I'll get £17,500 right off the bat. which means my total repayments for all these credit cards will be just over £600 per month. So in order to keep up with my payments, I will need to make sure I can afford £600 per month on these 5 credit cards. That is a good deal in my opinion, because I'm able to borrow £17,500 right away and it'll only cost me £600 per month. With that £17,000, I can put it all into Bitcoin, which will appreciate in value over time. When you use debt to buy Bitcoin, all you're doing is trading bad money for good money. Fiat currencies are bad money because, as mentioned earlier, governments are always printing more money, which causes the value of your dollar or British pounds to go down. They are stealing from you after all the hard work you put into earning that fiat money, because rather than working to earn the money, they are just producing more money out of thin air. That's bad money.
Run!
Bitcoin, on the other hand, is good money because there's only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever exist in the world. No one can produce more of it. Therefore, it cannot be debased by governments or anyone. Obviously, there is a lot more reasons why Bitcoin is good money, but it'll take all day listing them all out and explaining them individually. Going back to credit cards, in order to even qualify for this 0% APR credit cards, you'll need to have an excellent standard credit score. At least, that's what it should say in Credit Karma. In UK, where I live, that would mean you'll need to have at least 628 credit score. In the US, I believe it's around 670 credit score. Credit scores are measured differently in the UK than to the US, probably because in America people make more money. So, to even get that amount of credit score, it's essential you start using credit cards now if you haven't already. Build your credit score to an excellent standard and then you will be qualified for the 0% interest rate credit cards. Now, how do you actually do this? What's the step-by-step process of using 0% APR credit cards to buy Bitcoin? I'll have to do this on a separate video depending on the demand. Do you guys want to see it? You'll have to let me know, otherwise I won't even bother if there's no one interested. It's also too valuable for me to give out this information for free. I tried to find tutorial videos on YouTube, but I couldn't find any, at least nothing so specific or clear. Probably for a good reason.
Sorry, a magician never shares his secrets.
Lastly, when should you do this? When should you apply for multiple credit cards to buy Bitcoin? The best time to use debt to buy Bitcoin is 365 days before the Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin goes into this 4-year cycle where the block reward for miners gets cut in half, making it harder to mine Bitcoin. This explains the reason why it's no longer possible to mine Bitcoin with a laptop, but are now required specialized computers to do it, and it will need constant upgrading every 4 years if the miners want to keep up with the block rewards. But that's a whole new video that I'm not going to get into right now.
Yes, I promise.
So the best time to use debt to buy Bitcoin is a year before the Bitcoin halving. The next Bitcoin halving will happen around March 2028. So for you, it's best to use 0% APR credit cards in the year 2027, 1 year before the halving. This is the most profitable entry point for Bitcoin investors. The second best entry point is during the halving. Bitcoin tends to be in a bull run 1 year before and 1 year after the halving. So here's my last words.
You have my utmost respect.
You should only be using this if you are good at paying on time. if you don't make enough money to pay off your monthly repayments for at least one credit card, then you shouldn't be using debt to buy Bitcoin. The safest way of investing is using your own money instead of using debt.
You know what? I work hard for this.
Else, if you've sorted your money and have enough to pay for the repayments, then leveraging debt to your advantage is your superpower. You are time traveling into the future by using money that you currently don't have and investing it in the hardest asset the world has ever seen, Bitcoin. This is the closest way of investing like MicroStrategy with their convertible notes, which is using credit cards with 0% interest rates fixed for under 2 years.
Rule number 11. Bitcoin Insight, it's restricted to those with a need to know. You look at Bitcoin, you don't understand it. Charlie Munger doesn't understand it. Warren Buffett doesn't understand it. The bankers don't understand it. The rich people that you hate don't understand it. They don't need to know. That's why they can't see it, right? When you're comfortable and you live in the Western world and everything looks just fine to you and your cousin works at the bank, you don't have a need to know. When you have a need to know and your world comes crashing down, when you're looking at imminent death, when you're looking over the edge of the abyss, then you will understand and you will see Bitcoin for what it is. So don't be shocked when people look at it and they don't get it. They don't have a need to know.
I can barely believe my own eyes!
Go ahead and leave a like if you learned something of value. Watch this video next if you want to see how I'm investing in 2024 going towards next year.